Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Deborah Peters and welcome to the Deborah Peters Show. I forgot to plug in my microphone, so I'm going to do that while I'm doing the introduction. This show is all about raising your consciousness, living a life on purpose, and realizing that you are the creator of your own reality. So it's all about living life on the leading edge of thought. I'm sure this is going to take you beyond your comfort zone today because my guest is Michele Swinick. And if there's a patriot in this country, Michele is the #1 patriot. I have been on your show so many times, I can't even count. And I'm so grateful to be able to reciprocate. Finally got my show off the ground in February. And thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, I was so excited that you offered this position to me today. We've talked about me coming on, but now I'm officially here. And this is the first time, amazing, okay, because we're going to talk about this in the show. But this is the first time we've actually seen each other, okay? And Deborah's been coming on my show for a year, and we talk off air, but we don't do the Zoom things. I'm a big phone person because I have a talk radio show and a TV show, but I love to talk, all right, well, obviously, but on the phone, right? I don't do the Zoom things. It's the first time we've actually met.
It's the first time. And we're actually on StreamYard, which was a different choice than Zoom. I find this is an amazing platform for just really getting the show out there everywhere. So thank you for being here. And so the cool thing I think about today's show and the conversation we're going to have is, because you're a patriot and you're in the trenches and you're in the weeds with everything that's been going on in our country for the last couple of years, you see things from a different angle than maybe what I do, but yet we agree, which is fascinating because this is the narrative right now, I think, in the world, but let's focus on America, is that if people see things differently, they can't agree. But you and I do. I mean, at the end of the day, the road becomes one where you're seeing things, I'm seeing things, yet we have different perspectives on what is going on and where it's leading us. I think, I mean, I could be assuming, but yet at the end of the day, we agree, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and you don't have to totally be on the same page, but you have to be like-minded, right? So there's nothing wrong with disagreeing, right? Because you and I have talked off air. I mean, there's certain things that you say on the air, certain things you got, you know what I mean? There's just some conversations that people don't need to know about, right? Because it's like, you don't air all your dirty laundry out like on a first date either, right? Because then there'll never be a second date. I mean, that's okay. There's no reason why you can't have those discussions. But at the end of the day, I mean, I feel that I live in a common sense world, right? And well, in my brain, up here in my head, I try to use as much common sense as I can. And you might call that, some people say, "Oh, Michele, you're conservative." No, not really. Not. You'd be surprised. Then you might say, "Oh, but you're really political." No, because everything's political, right? Because it affects your life, your business, and your community. So technically, no. And if not that so much. I just say, like, it's really, a lot of this stuff is common sense, and we've veered away from that in a world of complete chaos and upside downness. But when you think about it, it's really not, because you got to look at it from a different standpoint or different light.
Yeah, I agree. And it's interesting because if you look at chaos, there's always order to chaos. Go into, say, Manhattan. I don't know what it's like now because I haven't been there for a couple of years.
I've heard it's horrible. It's like literally a poop hole.
Let's say
a poop hole is what it is.
Yeah, like LA. So let's say say 2019. I was in Manhattan in October of 2019, and I hosted a reception on the rooftop of a swanky hotel in partnership with a social network of kind of jet setters that I've been a member of for years.
And the Cool Kids Club.
The Cool Kids. Yeah, it's so cool.
You want to drop some names, Deborah? You want to drop a name?
No, I'm not name dropping today. But, I'm one of their, or maybe their only global ambassadors. They have a lot of ambassadors, but I'm the only one that's global. And the week before, I held a reception in Monaco at the Buddha Bar.
Okay, now we're dropping. Now we're dropping locations, swanky locations.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. High roller here, everybody. So if you're looking for someone who actually has their act together, a good business advisor, you might want to go with somebody who can put on events like this.
Well, and the cool thing is these were all people I didn't know that showed up. Like the one that I did in Monaco, I had something like 40 people come. I mean, people drove from Torino, Italy to come for cocktails at the end of the day. And it was just such good, kind, cool people, no she, I'm too sexy for my shirt kind of people. You remember that song?
By the way. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
I'm 49, of course. I know that song. Hello. Yeah.
So then Manhattan was like, 80 some people. And again, like I made super good friends off of that. But my point is, I totally digress. My point is that walking down the street or driving down the street in rush hour seemingly is total chaos. However, everyone knows where they're going, so there's order to the chaos, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that this is something we can learn with today's world, is even in all of this chaos and systems being upended and crazy rules and regulations and restrictions, if you know where you're going, that's all that matters. And you can create order in the middle of all this chaos. And I have to say, this is how I have gotten through and got my clients through the last almost 2.5 years, is just don't even look at it. Don't bury your head in the sand and not, stand your ground. I'm not saying that, but I'm also saying don't spend your whole time struggling against it. Instead, know where you're going and just get busy creating.
Well, you have to keep everything in perspective, right?
Right.
So from a standpoint of I'll just take the word mandate. Okay.
Can we say that on
let's
air?
like I was like, that song, Remember When? And I can't remember that country song, Remember When?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So one of the little skits that I'm going to do on my show is Remember When? Mandate meant two guys hanging out, right? Okay. So that's like, remember that.
Hilarious.
That's just think of it that way, which there's no such thing as a mandate. Okay. There's no such thing. They can't enforce it. It's not a law. It's not a rule. So a lot of the things that we have allowed, the powers that be, the selected and the elected elite, doesn't matter if you're left or right. This is not about that, people. So again, it's not about that. It's you, the American people, you, the guys that go to work every day, you, the ones who are
that own companies,
you own your business. You go to a job, you're homeschooling. I highly encourage homeschooling, by the way. And you're out there, you're doing your daily stuff. Okay. That's we the people. You're considered we the people. So you're not a left, you're not a right. Don't conform to that. They want you to be in, again, this is all about propaganda.
To categorize yourself. Right?
Yeah, they want you to put you, they want to label you, they want to put you in a category, then they want to divide you, and then they want to control you. Okay, so if you haven't figured that out over the past 2.5 years, I don't know, right? Yeah, so you have to use this to your advantage. Like literally, when Deborah came on and did a show with me, we have short segments that we do in the first hour, and then the second and third, now third hour, we do what they're called Michelle's Patriotic Soapboxes, and they're longer. Well, Deborah came on, and I think we went for like an hour and 20 minutes. Okay?
Yeah, it was a good one.
It was really good. It's episode 195. So, can I give the website so that I can get them to go?
So
okay,
people can find it.
So I have something called a Take Action menu, because it's not just my information that's on there. Literally, it's all kinds of incredible resources to grow your business, enhance the quality of your life, and make a difference, especially in your communities. And it's just go to the Take Action menu, everythinghomeaboutus.com. Everything Home. It's the name of the show. It's right there above my head. Everything Home.
Is that
About
.com?
us. Is that what?
.com, everythinghome.com.
.com. Remember,
Okay.
Yahoo, right? So .com. And you go to any of the, it'll show you all kinds of information. And again, it is a hub, like ultimate resource platform. And so it's much more information than just my show, right? And it's not about, my shows aren't just about me. I'm there promoting all these amazing people that have great businesses, that organizations, like Deborah. Deborah comes on once a month. Hello, you can listen to her once a month, and it's a great segment. So anyway, what my point was, episode 195, you'll go on there, pick your favorite podcast player. We're on 25 of them. Just go to episode 195, not the 195 that like Apple tells you. The 195, I write them 195, so you'll see that. Listen to that episode. It's mind blowing, and it was the first time that I learned. And we did this. I pulled it out to get the date. How long is the show today? Because we can go for.
We have 45 minutes, girls. So we've got another 30 to go.
Okay. Oh no, well that's not a problem. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
That we
have a lot to cover.
We got to give these people some red meat, because I want them to leave knowing and take action items so they could literally.
Speaking of red meat, I want to give a shout out.
Let me give you the date, because this is important. Okay. April 5th is when we did the show. And this is the first time that I was introduced to just the phrase science of propaganda. And she explains everything. So when you understand what the science of propaganda is all about, and then you understand where PR comes from, and marketing, and all propaganda and branding, and then why people think the way that they do, and brainwashing and indoctrination, and literally conditioning. And then you just go, and then you look back over the past 2 years and you go, oh my God, this whole thing, brilliantly evil, but brilliant, brilliant, and executed brilliantly, and continues to do so. And it literally will change the way that you do your business. Everything. It'll change the way that you interact with people. It'll change your relationships, because you just go, wow, I had no iddia. So listen to that. So it'll literally, if the light bulb even if your light bulb's on, your light bulb will be even brighter.
Yeah, absolutely. So just quickly, and then I have something to comment about on these categories of putting us into these boxes, labels. So
you can trans if you want. You can trans from labels, like in the morning I could be a man, and in the afternoon I'll be like, real quick, I gotta go being a woman, because there's some sort of an advantage for me, and then I can switch back. It's amazing.
I can do whatever. Who am I?
You can be a raccoon at 4. It's cool.
That's right. So red meat. So I want just a little bit here. I grew up on a farm.
Like you're Canadian, right? Is it right?
Yeah. In the middle of like literally nowhere. We literally were the farm at the end of the road. So you could just go, you turn here, turn there, keep driving, turn here, turn there, keep driving. It just goes on for like 40 miles from the nearest small town of 1,500 people. And we're at the end of the road. We've got, over 100 head of cattle that we run, most of them Hereford. Some are Angus, not purebred Angus, so we call them blackface. I mean, that could get me into trouble, but it wasn't any sort of racist thing against our cows. It just was they had black faces and they weren't purebred Angus, so we called them. It's
just called normal words, people. Like,
it's how you identify.
Common sense. Yeah,
pick that cow out from the herd and get her in the corral.
Slow your rolls, people. Stop with the letters. Don't send them. Don't send the emails, please. Go volunteer if you have that kind of free time. Okay.
Interestingly enough, when I was a kid, I didn't like eating beef for some reason. I should have, because I was anemic, but I didn't. So here's what's fascinating is what they say, that things come like full circle in your life. So I am, I think it was probably midway through 2020, and I found myself anemic again. My iron had dropped. So now I'm taking, iron shots in the butt, and my doctor's, an hour drive away, and I really don't want to have to drive there once a week to get an injection. So I taught my hairdresser how to do these iron injections in my butt. Yeah.
Gotta be resourceful, people. You see what I mean? That's an entrepreneur.
And everything was closed. So she'd, come to my house and do my hair. Can you believe I was doing like black market highlights black market waxing,
Underground.
black market
It's speakeasy.
nails. Yeah.
Speakeasy for getting your highlights done.
We're
Literally
all-
look back and we were all idiots, but
we got to take care of
that's
us
another
girls.
show.
We got to look good. Doesn't matter if we're on lockdown. We still got to look good.
Yeah.
So anyway, I taught her how to do the injections. But what ended up coming of all of that is I actually started to eat red meat again. And then I found myself in this real pickle because I would go to the store to purchase my groceries. And I was hard pressed to find any US beef. Like it didn't exist. It's still hard to find it today. I could get New Zealand beef, I could get Uruguay beef, I could get Brazilian beef, I could get Australian beef, I could get packages with a mixture. And I'm like, hell no, I am so not putting this into my body. So, Facebook does have its advantages. And I know that they have their issues, but nonetheless, I found these amazing people in Montana that have not just a grass-fed beef herd, but they also are 100% certified organic, USDA certified, and they've invested the money to build their own processing plant. So you never have to wonder where the beef is coming from, who cut it up. They know exactly what goes into that calf from the moment of birth to the day that they butcher that beef.
You want to plug them? Maybe you can get them as a sponsor.
OCC Legacy Cuts in Montana. I just did this huge order between me and a couple friends. We ordered about $1,000 worth of steaks and burgers and roasts and ribs. And oh my God, talk about amazing, top of the line, phenomenal food, where I would buy beef from the grocery store. And I've got one of those little George Foreman grills. And so I'd put the patty on the grill, and then there'd be a plate full of juice and water and stuff that would come off of one burger. These guys, I don't even need to put a plate under the grill. There's no additives, people.
Wow.
And what you need to know about beef in this country is they just passed a law that allows grass-fed beef to be GMO.
Oh, that's really bad.
You need to know where your supply is coming from. So give them a shout out. Ty O'Connor at OCC Legacy Cuts. He's my buddy, and his wife is amazing. Lovely people. They shipped it, came 100% frozen, packed perfectly, and it's just outstanding. So anyway, there's my plug.
Nice.
You said red meat. I mean,
I do. I love red meat.
You triggered me. Yeah.
So yummy. So yummy.
So, one of the things I wanted to say about categories is I just did this, just wrote this article on LinkedIn called Women as an Emerging Market. And it's not from the perspective that you would think, because most people would think that, women have been put down, women have been held apart, women have been suppressed, women aren't being paid enough. And I just I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
Ladies.
Man up.
Yes.
Come on.
You just need to step forward and claim it and stop asking permission. Stop seeing yourself as a victim. And mindset, is 100% of success. 100%. And so what do you think, Michelle? Do you think this is a way that we could all uncategorize ourselves?
Yeah. And I think that they're setting us up for it. And I was joking around before about the trans thing, right? Because I have to say one thing about women. Okay. So you brought up the women thing. Okay. So because there's so many other battles that people are trying to navigate through and stand up for, right? Which are everything's important at this point, right? But I'm kind of disappointed that you have all of these hardcore women's groups, right? Like women, whatever the women's main organizations, I get the chicks with the pink hats, and they're like, women's feminists and rights and da-da-da. But you hear crickets when all of a sudden women's sports is being destroyed because you can have a man in the sport, and there's no person on planet Earth really that should say that that's okay.
Well, we're physically designed different. Let's face it.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way. And they're like, oh, well, he's been taking the hormones. He's still a man. He was raised. I'm just using the swimmer as an example, but there's many more. But what is really disappointing is that the same people that are saying the narrative that, oh, you don't make enough money and women are suppressed and blah, blah, blah. They're the same ones who are now not standing up for women. Okay.
Well,
and that's low hanging fruit. This is the lowest hanging fruit category for something that is so easy for both sides. Because I remember over the summer, there was some women's groups and that were talking about this. And one was clearly right. On the right. One was clearly on the left. And they were doing an interview together. And they said, you know what? This is the first time that we've ever agreed on anything when it comes to women. They said, this is actually crazy. But then they got to know each other and they're like, actually, we kind of agree on a lot of stuff. Miraculously, when people actually communicate and have conversations, they realize that they have a lot more in common. And the powers that be are the ones that are separating because they're thinking, oh, well, he thinks that way because he's labeled that way. And you're like, sure, no, not necessarily. That's what you guys are saying. Then there's your propaganda again, right?
Totally.
So, but as I'm saying is so when they realize that they're like, this is crazy. We've always been opposites and hated each other, right? And that's I'm using loose words, right? You know what I mean? Yes. So now all of a sudden they got something that everybody can be for. And where are these women? So these are the same ones that are telling you all the things that Deborah just told you, but yet now they're not standing up. It's like, practice what you preach. So be
I'm
careful
not gonna,
who you get advice from and what you follow.
But here's the thing is that, and I'm not defending anyone here. I just want to unpack it. The thing is that most people, and I've been working as a coach with clients in 17 countries for over 20 years. And I can tell you when it comes to like human engineering, human behavior.
You used to deal with athletes, like full on athletes.
Yes. Yeah. And all sorts of CEOs, millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires, and everybody in between. And, mom pop shops to Fortune 500s. I can tell you that human behavior never surprises me, ever. It used to. I used to scratch my head and go, oh my God, how could these people do this? But here's the thing that I realized after being in as a, working as a coach and a speaker for so long, is it's very predictable. And that is most people will not go against the grain. Joseph Campbell said, the road less traveled. And there's a reason the road is less traveled, because very few people will go the other way. And this is like a human condition that we are being forced by the nature of what's happening in the universe. We are being forced to get over the herd mentality. Now, not everyone's going to make it, Michelle. Some people are just going to be accepting of what is because it's easier. It's easier to blame someone else and to accept defeat because someone is in your perception is bigger than you, taller than you, smarter than you, more money than you, more whatever, than it is to actually stand up and go, wait a minute, I can create my own reality. That's a tall order. And we're all being called to the mat on that, because as individuals, if we don't look in the mirror and accept that what happens to us really is happening through us, and make different choices of the thoughts we focus on, the emotions we entertain, the narratives that we accept, if we don't take responsibility for that, then we're going to, there's like a divide happening, which is part agenda and part choice, because I don't see a right or left. I just see a relationship with God. I see patriotism where we know what's right or wrong. Like, I don't need to go to church to be told what's right or wrong. I know in my heart, a lie will always make you feel heavy, and the truth will always make you feel lighter. And when you ignore that, then you get led around like you've got a hook in your nose and someone else is in charge of your reality. And then you really don't have any room to complain.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you brought up the church and faith, because I figured we needed to go down that path.
I'm sure.
And of course, right? So, and as far as the churches, I mean, most of them have been the cause of a lot of these problems because they're not talking about what really matters. And they're, unfortunately, they were so happy to close down, right? And I said, wow.
Well, they drank the Kool-Aid.
They got paid.
Yeah.
They are on the take. They're also worried about their 501c3 status, but then they're also controlled, right? And then it turns out that you have, what the whole point of the church is supposed to be where people gather, right? Especially when there's issues or there's problems, and talk about what's going on in the community. And that obviously didn't happen. So, but you have these pastors that aren't preaching what they need to be preaching. So you've got to kind of do that on your own, find your own people. But again, you what does it take? Like two people makes a church, something along those lines. I'm on the news side when it comes to this. I tell everybody I have a lot of faith leaders that come on my show, pastors, and I said, hey, I'm asking kindergarten questions because we didn't learn any of this stuff in Catholic school. We didn't learn any of this stuff in CCD kind of stuff, right? So now as an adult, you're actually going, wow, this is so. I've had so many. I've got to come up with something other than because I can't give Oprah credit anymore for doing things, because she's a globalist. She's bad news bears. You know what I mean? So I can't. So I got to come up with another word for right? It's so we got to work on that. But so when I had all these people coming on, and we started having these conversations, and I'm going, all right, I'm going to make a confession here. They're giving verses from the Bible, and there's phrases, there's sayings, there's like quotes. Okay. Like I think quote, cause I'm thinking marketing and business, and it's actually just like a verse from the Bible. So I said, I've used that for years, and I've heard about that. And I've listened to that before. I'm like, I didn't know it was in the Bible. They're like, yeah. I said, I thought it from like a book. I thought it was from like, maybe a quote. And I went, they're like, yeah, it is in a book, Michelle. It's called the Bible. You might want to read it. And I went, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when I started reading some of these Bible verses and passages and chapters in the book, right? I was like, oh my God, literally the light bulb's going on. There's business advice. And the reason I'm bringing it back to business, because I always try to do that too.
Yes.
There's business advice in the Bible. There's business advice in the Bible. Who knew, right? So that's when I kind of went down this path where I said, you know what? The thing that was interesting, and you're one of the people that kind of brought it to my attention, just because I've had 379 people come on we started a live format. It was like 17 months ago. It's jam-packed with guests each episode, Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific time. For anyone
it's packed.
It's packed. It's jam-packed. There's like 8 to 10 people. And sometimes we have surprise mystery guests that just show up, right? So it's just like one big party. But anyway, the thing that was interesting, and if you want to, like, say a test case study, right? You're saying, well, I need a bunch of people in my case in order to prove my point. The people that were the most successful in their business or their organization, or literally depending on what it is that they do to make them happy, like their life, it was the ones who are way into their faith, and the ones that aren't afraid to talk about it, who actually pray and read the Bible. And it was fascinating to me that it was literally almost every single one of them. And I went, wow. And it wasn't a majority of the 379 to date that we've had. It's not a majority, but it's the ones. And I went, there's something there. There's something there. And I'm thinking,
100%. 100%.
Michelle, you got to jump on this train. Like, you're missing out. You're missing out on something because you're seeing it play out week after week on the show. And I went, wow.
Well, I see it play out in my life. I see it play out in my clients' lives. And one of the things I have done for years is talked about God in all my seminars, in all my coaching programs, and all the trainings I've run everywhere in the world. And I remember one time I was referencing, I was using the word God like liberally in a 7-day training course that I was teaching. And a woman in the class went up to one of my training assistants on the break and said, I really don't think, because you know what I teach, right? I teach, how to shift your belief systems, how to repattern your mindset, how to let go of past hurts, how to elevate your business, how to basically re-engineer your reality so you don't have to be suffering and stuck anymore. Because we all have this capacity for greatness in us that goes untapped because we get sucked down the rabbit hole believing that you have to suffer, you have to struggle, that life is hard, that businesses fail, that all of this narrative and propaganda that's been programmed into people for eons. And that's another conversation. But this woman in the class came up to one of my training assistants on the breaks, and she said most indignantly, I really don't think it's appropriate for Deborah to keep talking about God in this training. That's not why I came for this. And my assistant, with a straight face, didn't even blink an eye and looked her in the eye. And he said, if she can't talk about God here, given the nature of this program, nobody can talk about God anywhere. And she was like, oh.
I would have said, I rebuke you, demon. Now leave the room.
Well, no, because we want to help people.
She needs some help. She needs a lot of help.
We want people to be able to, at the end of the day, gosh, this is like when people don't understand what's happening. I don't want to. Listen. I too went through this process in 2020, parts of 2020, and even since then, I've done it where I'm like, I don't want anything to do with them. They don't get it. They don't think like me. Blah blah blah. And it's like, no, I need to be the example. I need to even stand more firm in my faith and show through my results. Not even the actions anymore. It's like the results. Show through the results that I'm getting with me and my clients what it really means to be in alignment with your creator. Because then it's easy. Life is easy. It's not hard. It's not a struggle. There's no separation. There's only oneness. And if you go down a dark path and your life isn't working, it's simply because you've separated yourself through your thoughts, through your emotions, through what you consume. And we're consuming all the time. We're consuming food, beverages, social media. We're consuming dialogues and energy and relationships. We're all consuming all the time. And I think we all need to ask ourselves a question, is my consumption producing the life I want?
There you go. Because you've got to be selective on what goes in those ears and what goes in front of those eyeballs and then what comes out of that mouth.
And
So
what's in your heart?
Oh yeah, I forgot that one.
Right? Well, yeah, because it's because we're programmed to think that it's an action, but it's really a being. It's a level of being. Like, who am I being? Am I aligned? And listen, I have been probably one of the most judgmental people. I admit it, because I've been so hard on myself all my life. I'm not enough. I have to work.
Well, that's everybody. That's everybody.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I have to always be on, always look good, always be fit, always all of these rules. And what ended up happening is through all of that judgment, I just was so hard on myself. I mean, it was ridiculous. I didn't have to be so hard on myself, and it would have been easy. Life would have been easier. But I didn't know that because that's how I grew up. So we have to pivot from how we grew up, and we have to remember that we create our own reality, and it starts with who we are being. So once I stopped judging me so harshly, then I was able to have compassion where other people are at. And that doesn't mean I need to change them. maybe I have to walk away. You know, maybe
Mhm.
it's just,
Yeah.
I love you. I
But
know you're going to work this through.
yeah.
I'm going to be over here, you
Well,
know?
I'm glad that you brought that up because that is kind of where many people have been in the past 2.5 years, right? But I think right now I'm noticing it with even more so, and I'm having these conversations with people that people are. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna say it. There's a division now within the people that after you weeded out the people from 2020 and 2021, right? So those people separated. Like I have friends that don't talk to me anymore. I'm
Sure.
okay with that. What are you gonna
Yeah.
do, right? Go get another booster. I don't know
Just
what to
send
tell
them
you.
love.
Yes,
No,
send
but
them
just
love.
send them love.
Send them love in their booster shot. Okay, I don't know what to tell you, people. Okay, so then you, so now I'm seeing in the ones that you do have or left, or even in the that people are still, family communicating. There's a division there, but it's over faith. Okay.
Sure.
And I keep hearing stories. I keep hearing this information where people are saying, you know what? I don't really, mom and dad, I don't want to, I don't really want to hear about Jesus. I don't want to hear about God. I'm going the other way. And I'm
Yeah.
going, wow, this is the time, like when poop hits the fan, what's the first thing you do? You're like, oh God, you got to get me out of this thing. You start praying. You haven't
You're
prayed in
praying.
years.
You're on your
You're
knees
going like this.
begging.
You're like, God, I haven't
I
done this in a
know.
long time. Just like back when you were young, right? And you had a little too much to drink. And then you're like, yeah, you go to the bathroom and you're like, oh God, I swear to God, if you get me through this night, I will never do this
I'll
again.
never drink again.
And you'll never drink
Yeah.
again. And you're hurling in that toilet, right? You're like, oh God, please, please, please get me through this. So you start praying. So now this is in any moment of anyone that's living on this planet. You've never seen the world in this much upside downness, chaos, absurdity, by design, all by design. So don't you think this is a mistake or an oversight or all that, or like, oh, the border's open because we don't know what to do. No, don't buy in any of that. That's not true. Your audience is smarter than that. So and that's the time. So when things aren't going well, the first person or first thing you do is you start praying to God, even if you're like, dude, I haven't talked to you in years, kind of could use your help right now, right? The sirens going off in the rearview mirror, the cops coming up to give you a ticket, and you're like, God, please just get me out of this thing. Please just
I have another
hopefully,
example.
Hopefully the guy's not gay and he likes me. So he's not going to get me on the ticket. So it's happening.
We're also, when we're like in the throes of passion, it's like God, right? It's fascinating how
now you're
God
going dirty. You're going dirty on me, Deborah. Deborah.
When
Deborah.
all the energy's flying high, it's like the God comes to the table.
Deborah.
One thing I think is worth pointing out, and I've been dying to do this on a show, so I'm so glad you're here today, is this was... You want me to
hold your hand virtually? Here, here.
Let's
hold the hands virtually.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, there you go.
This was unfolding back 2012. If you remember, in 2012, we were, everything was supposed to come to a screeching halt on December 21st. Well, actually, this has been unfolding for now. That's a decade ago. Can you believe it? I actually had a party at my house, and everybody was like, oh, at midnight, everything's gonna shut down. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe we're talking about this. But nonetheless, it didn't shut down. But I'll tell you what did happen is there was an awareness of
shift, right? An awareness shift.
Of what's happening or what was to happen with the timeline convergence. So there was a project, I think it was called Project Looking Glass. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was a project that showed all indications that no matter what happened politically or corporately or whatever on this planet, that there was to be and is a convergence of timelines, which basically meant, and that could not be stopped, could not be altered. That basically meant that the Great Awakening was happening within humanity, no matter what. And so there was a rush to counter that, which, regardless of what it looks like, and I think this is the message I want to get across today, is that regardless what it looks like, people, we are waking up,
Oh
and
yeah, long overdue.
you can go kicking and screaming and submitting to some power that is a man-made construct,
Mhm.
dictating how you live your life. Or you can accept that these timelines have converged. The Great Awakening is upon us. And what you need to do if you would really like to thrive is get into alignment with your creator. And it's a
Mhm.
spark. It's a spark in your heart that gets you up in the morning. It's the beating of your heart that means you're alive. And without that spark, that divinity, that God code, you would
Mhm.
cease to be. And there's nothing you can do about that. Now, I have to say, with all that said, and then I think this would be a good point, to kind of spin off the show toward the end here, is the notion that we need transhumanism
Ooh,
is
that's
a
nuts.
complete rejection of God.
Mhm.
And it's a
Mhm.
divergence away from, because we are so powerful. When we are in alignment, miracles are commonplace. And when we create these notions of separation between men and women, hierarchies in a country where people have power over us, all of these constructs are crumbling
Mhm.
because these timelines have converged. And you, each of you watching, have the power to do anything beyond any computer chip can actually do for you. Just, wake up and claim it and step forward. So I'm going to let you wrap up with your thoughts on that.
And I will take the baton over to the finish line, my dear, because I want to give them something to do. I want to give them a take action nugget that won't take very long, but it'll get them into the mindset, and it'll also get them into opening that Bible that probably has dust on it. And if they don't want to physically do it, they can go online. Okay. So literally, this is the time that you need to stand up, show up, and speak up in your personal and your professional and your financial lives. This has nothing to do with politics, people. This is it. This is the time where you need to be you, and you need to get back into your faith. And I'd love for you to get involved in you want to do these take action items for your business life community, right? I want you to get involved in all that. But this is our Joshua moment. And this is, to me, I think this is the most brilliant thing that I've come up with. And I didn't do it by myself, right? I did it by myself. I had help. So this is our Joshua moment. So I want you to go to Joshua 1:5-9, and I can rattle it off real quick. I know we got to go at the 45 minutes. So Joshua 1:5-9. It has business advice in it too. So it's going to hit everybody in every category right now. So no one will be able to stand against you. And I have to read it because I don't have it memorized. To stand against you as long as you live. For I will be with you. As I was with Moses, I will not fail you or abandon you. Be strong and courageous, for you are the one who will lead these people to possess all the land I swore to their ancestors I would give them. Be strong and very courageous, says it twice. Be careful to obey all the instructions Moses gave you. Do not deviate from them, turning either to the right or to the left. Then you'll be successful in everything you do. Study this book of instruction continually. Meditate on it day and night so that you will be sure to obey everything written in it. Then only will you prosper and succeed in all you do. This is my command. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. I just got chills. There you go. Read that. It says it all.
It's like I said, it's that spark in your heart. And you just take time daily to tune into that and ask for God to come in.
And you shall receive.
And intervene.
Knock and the door opens.
Always.
Seek and ye shall find. Literally, it's in this book. I had no idea. It's amazing what's in this book.
It is. And I want to just give a testimonial to that. I have been asking with great commitment and dedication to be guided toward other ways of being in my life. And whether that is more self-love, less self-criticism, better self-talk, better health, more income, more wealth, reaching more people, better friends that are stronger in their own relationship with themselves, where they don't get afraid of controversy and run away, loyalty, like some real solid values that are important pillars in my life. And I've asked with such dedication and commitment that it's like this whoosh came into my life in the last 3 weeks and just moved out everything that was in the way that would have kept me from stepping into those experiences. And, I was negotiating a new lease on my home, and everything was moving along. But I have to say, there was this little angst in me that was like going, I don't know, are you sure? I don't know, are you sure? Like it was just a little angst. But, I'm settled in and everything's unpacked and I have a beautiful place and I have a wonderful view and blah, 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 right? That's the ego coming in and going, don't change anything. Stay the same. Yeah. Don't rock the boat. Don't upset the apple cart. Your life will fall apart. Like all of those egoic lies that have us believing that our lives have to stay the same and look a certain way, or we're not safe. Because nothing worse than feeling vulnerable and unsafe. And so the whole thing is moving along, but there's an angst. But meanwhile, in my prayers and in my meditations, I'm asking with great passion for these other things to appear in my life. The night before I'm supposed to meet with the owners of the property, they send me the lease in a DocuSign. I can't open it. I've never had that issue in my life. I get a lot of documents to sign, and I send a lot out. And it's not opening. It's just spinning. I tried every browser under the sun. I finally had to email them and I sent them screenshots. And I'm like, I don't know. Can you resend it as a fill and sign PDF? And they said, no, it's too big of a file, which I don't think it's true.
Yeah, kind of scary that you have a lease that's so big. It's kind of like a bill in Congress. You're like,
yeah,
what's in it? You got to get away from the fog in order to figure out what's in it. Like, let's sign that sucker. Yeah,
I need to send this off to my team of attorneys, not just one.
That's a warning sign right
that
there. It's such a huge document. Should be one page. Okay, let's
should be.
Go on.
Yeah. Well, there you
go.
go.
In a crayon.
There you go.
You can't write it with a crayon in one page. You run away, people. That's
up,
good
right?
business advice. Yeah.
So they're like, email me back. No worries. We're coming by tomorrow anyway. We'll just bring the signature pages and no problem.
The book.
Yeah. So they roll in the next day. No lease.
With a wheelbarrow. with your lease in a wheelbarrow.
No.
This is so heavy.
No lease. And they're like, we decided you took too long. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
They got a bigger and better deal. They got a bigger and better deal. Yeah.
They did. And I called them on it. And I said, listen, I wasn't born yesterday. Like,
right.
This obviously
lame
is
excuse.
about
It's
money.
like breaking up over a Post-it. It's not
But you
cool.
know what was awesome is it was like God protecting me. Like there's no rejection, you guys. Everything is a repulsion. I'm going to say that again, because there's so many people that feel rejected a lot of the time. Yeah, there's no rejection.
People don't care that much about you to reject you. Okay. You're not that important and people don't care. Okay. That's awesome. The thing. You literally got to get over yourself. Like they're like, oh, I don't, this is, what if I look this way or somebody's like, no, people literally are so self-centered. They don't care about you. So it's not a big deal. So just
but we've been trained that way.
Use that as confidence. Use that as confidence.
I know, but we've been trained. We've been trained Yeah.
Yeah. They don't.
So
What's in it for me? That's all people are concentrating
that's
on. I hate
yeah.
to tell you the truth. That's it.
And I
So
just said to myself, there's something greater for me. And what ended up
mm,
coming from that was like this huge speaking tour and the
mhm.
ability to just be free. And I don't want to get into like any kind of big announcement. I just want to use this as an opportunity to
Tease.
and give people an opportunity to realize that you create your own reality. You're never rejected. You repulse, you push away things that aren't for you. And there's something better for you. Everything's always, it feels like a setback, but it's really a setup. And so trusting in your heart that you're creating your own reality, you never let yourself down. And you're always guided and you're always protected. And I really like that you mentioned Joshua 1, was it 1 through 9? Because that's what I put in
5 through 9.
1,
It's
5
brilliant.
through 9.
One,
1,
yeah.
5
It
through
says,
9.
be strong and courageous 3 times. Okay. And then it says, do not be afraid. So like all of the things that people reference that you kind of like, they don't even know where it's coming from most of the time. It's literally in that little small section. I mean, it's not that big.
All
It's
there.
like 2 paragraphs. It's literally wrapped up in a bow with business advice. And it says it references, you got to listen to the words. Don't look left or right. I have a feeling that wasn't necessarily directional, right? Because where do you think the
Right.
left and the right? Because they're trying to, it's not, it's a uniparty if you want to actually
Yeah,
tell the
don't
truth,
deviate.
right? Elected and selected. Okay. The elite. It is a unit. So it's not left or right. That's again, labeling. What did we talk about earlier? Labeling.
Yeah.
They want to pigeonhole you. Poor pigeons, pigeonhole you into this category. I don't know why they always pick on animals. It's like
I
you
know.
got to,
2 birds
lead
with
the
1
horse to
stone.
water. You got
And
to
a
kill the
cat.
2
I mean,
birds.
it's horrible.
Yes, I could swing a dead cat and hit a realtor. You know what I mean? It's not.
So
I'm in Arizona, Maricopa County, so it's like there's seriously. I don't know why. Where's PETA? Okay, so again, back to the groups. Where are the groups that are supposed to be standing up for the things they believe in? They should be coming after the people that use these phrases. But anyway,
That's hilarious.
it's
Here's the
true,
deal.
right?
I know, but here's the deal. It's like, and then we got to say goodbye because we could go.
Oh, well, that's
forever.
why I sped through my Joshua because I thought we had a deadline at 45. And then I was like, I dropped the mic, I dropped the paper, and then all of a sudden Deborah keeps going. And I'm like, oh, I would have gone a little slower.
I can't help myself. So the thing is, people fall out of range. Let them fall out of range. You're growing, you're expanding. Be positive, love yourself. Be a nice person. Okay. Don't be an asshole. Just be a nice person.
Don't be a douchebag.
I know. And just, get busy
that,
creating. The best thing everyone on this planet can do is get busy creating anything that serves humanity in a loving way. And you will make so much money that you won't have enough banks to put it all in. So,
let me give them 3 words. 3 words. Okay.
3 words.
This is how you're going to restructure everything.
Yeah.
What?
And then tell us how to find you.
Oh, I will. Oh, I will.
Okay.
This is how you're going to start your day. You're going to pray. You're going to plan.
Yes.
And then you're going to take action. It's back there, right? I'm telling you, that's it. When I started doing that, everything changed. Things started to line up. And I literally transformation. I've transformed into a different person, but for the better. Okay. I started looking at the Bible and listening to people tell me stuff. Cause I have my own faith advisor, right? My friend Lucy, she's my spiritual faith. She's my faith advisor. So I'm like, all right, I don't have time to read today. Give me the audio version. So it's like I have a human being Bible on audio that I tune into, but it also comes with the story too, because they don't necessarily pull the descriptive story in the book, right? So find one of those. Like if you can find one of those, or you can find a group that you can get involved with, maybe like a Bible study group or a prayer group, so you really understand it. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Remember, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. So I encourage you to do that. And it'll actually, and then, don't be afraid of collaborating. That's it. It's all collaboration. There's no such thing as competition. And
that's right. That's a lie too.
That's a lie. Okay. Here's one last bit of advice, and then we got to go, right? Because it's like Joan Rivers. So they're like, okay, I'm going to start the show. She's 45 minutes in. She's all right. I'm going to start the show any minute now. Right? And then she keeps going around, and then she's in an hour and a half. She's like, all right, guys, I'm going to really start the show any minute now. So that's what we're doing here. So with that being said, Everything that you've been told your entire life is a lie. Okay. You have to know that it's a lie. You have to go opposite land. You have to go opposite land. Remember what Ronald Reagan said, the 9 most dangerous words in the English language. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Nothing good comes from government, people. Nothing. They take your money, they piss it away. It's money laundering, the whole thing. Everything they tell you is a lie. CDC, FBI, CIA, you name it. Oh, can I? Oh, shit. I can't say that.
You can't say that.
I can't say that. Damn it.
You can't say that on my show.
God.
I
forgot. Okay, so
I just got going. Don't get me disbanded.
You just got kicked off. So anyway, it's a lie. You're going to George Costanza your life. You're going to George Costanza your life. And when he went opposite, remember the Seinfeld episode, when he went opposite, he got the job, he got the girl, he got the hair. That's all you need. So you're going to go opposite with everything. You're going to pray. You're going to plan. You're going to take action. That's how you're going to start your day. No such thing as competition. It's all collaboration. Drop the mic. I don't have a mic to drop. I'm going to drop I'm dropping the Joshua. This is our Joshua moment to save yourself, save America, and to save freedom. Boom.
Love it.
Joshua 1:5-9.
I love you.
Dumb.
So good.
And
how to find you? How
to find me? Go to the Take Action menu. Take action. Remember? So you're going to pray, plan, take action. Everythinghomeaboutus.com. Everythinghomeaboutus.com. Everything you need to grow your business, enhance the quality of your life, and make a difference, especially in your communities. Talk radio shows live 12 p.m. Pacific time on Mondays. And then we have the TV show on Brighteon.tv. That's Brighteon.tv, 4 p.m. Pacific time on Friday. Tune in. And then, of course, it's on demand. So once you go to the Take Action menu, you'll find everything. And it's not just me. The guest information's on there. Other resources, people to follow, shows to watch. I'm an incredible marketplace where I encourage you to go check it out. Great deals on products and services you already buy. But the cool thing is 2 to 20% of your total purchase ends up going to our nonprofit groups and our nonprofit partners and groups who support vets, pets, kids, and freedom, because the freedom groups don't get the $500 million like Planned Parenthood. So we came up with another way to support these amazing groups, the grassroots ones that are helping and doing and changing the world, because sometimes we're too lazy to go to a rally.
Change the world.
Change the
by
world,
changing
people.
yourself.
It's all about you. It's all about you. If that's what it takes to get your rear end off the couch, we're motivating the masses to get off their asses. And if it takes it to be in your brain and it's all about you and do it selfishly, but you're still going to do it, I'll take it. I'll take 2 minutes a day. I'll take 2 minutes a day. I'll take anything.
How hard is that? Seriously.
And then join us. There's an incredible Save My Freedom movement that Deborah doesn't even know she's a part of yet as a leader. So join that. There's a tab on the top. Join the newsletter. And then from there, you'll be included in all these amazing, amazing organizations, groups, and networking. And I guarantee you, by just showing up, your life will change. And you'll get more money because you'll get business from being a part of these groups. It's guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Awesome.
That's all I got to say. Everythinghomeaboutus.com.
Thank you so much.
No, you're the best.
You are the best.
I'm gonna have you come on. We'll do a longer segment.
Let's do it
on the show. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Have a blessed day, everybody. Stay aligned, stay awake, and stay sovereign.